This project is about addressing one of the great crises in biodiversity in the world, which is the undermining of the quality of biodiversity in Kenya and Tanzania along this rich borderland area.
This region strung across the Rift Valley is one of the richest anywhere, particularly for vertebrates. So it's particularly important for that reason, but also because there are 16 parks and reserves, which are among the best in the world. They generate about $1.5 billion for both governments. So this has always been the epicenter, if you like, the mecca for wildlife conservation. But what has been overlooked is the reason the wildlife has survived is because of the pastoral people who've lived with it for thousands of years. And so that ability to coexist is really the epicenter of our study. How did they manage that? How can we translate that into the modern period when you're having land subdivision, loss of rights, fragmentation, and so on and so forth? Serengeti Mara is the 8th wonder of the world. It's just an absolutely phenomenal situation. Here in North America 12,500 years ago, you had a very similar fauna. That's disappeared. This is really the last area where we can conserve those. So it's particularly important as a tourist destination for Canadians, and that's a big part of our tourist revenues. But the second part, and this is where Canada, I think, has become somewhat of an exemplar, is the delivery of rights and justice on the ground. And you've been particularly effective, I think, internationally among the developed nations in saying these issues are very fundamental.
What the project, I think, ideally could achieve, and this is certainly my expectation, is that by looking across the experiments in community-based conservation that have been going on in this region, we're going to find best practices. We're going to identify the systems of land tenure and property that have worked the best. We're going to find systems of organization that seem to be quite effective. And we'll develop a set of models that can be extended within that region, but perhaps also brought home to Canada.